of this night of tribute. Let it be known to all men that life is an inexplicable pattern of mystery, where no man knows when he was born and when he will die. And this notorious fact is deeply rooted in the fact that every man is created by God with his works, and the talent are the guides. For no man can grow above or beyond his destiny. For every man's destiny has a relationship with God. So let it be with Ikenga. Let it be with the newly-born politician. Let it be with our brother. Let it be with the great philanthropist, the great leader, the motivator. Let it be the lover of mankind and citizen of humanity. May his soul rest in peace. And to you, Leobas, madam, and your lovely children particularly, I have not died before, and I don't intend to die soon. But let me say something, that I do know that the Ikenga Ojukus, the Kwemes, and these great leaders of note who have left us, since the spirit never dies, I'm sure, they're having meetings somewhere. And I can only imagine what kind of meeting is saying. And their meeting is to Ndibo. And Ndibo, hear me, what is the likely thing these leaders are discussing now, including the youngest of them all, the Fanyoba. The question they're asking, Igbos, why do you play the politics of hate? Why do you hate one another? Ojukwu recalled his quarrels with Ekweme, and now they say it is vanity. Iwanyang recalled his quarrels with Enwerem, now they are in one place. And so, they are asking Igbos, may you embrace peace. Another thing that happened that is common with these great men is that before the death of Iwanyang made a plea to the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Ezife went to Villa and begged Nigerian nation. Ifeanyi made a statement in the same line. I want to say to you, my brother, in whom I'm well pleased, Senate President, convey this one message on behalf of these Igbos who are seated, that the best way to honor this great young man is the release of Nnamdi Kanu. So that the Igbos can go home and reorganize their place. And I know you, Senator Babio, that even if you don't want to do it, send this message. For the sake of your wife, who is our daughter, send this message and get us a result. Or else, your wife is not too far from taking back home. Your Excellency, Mr. President, we are particularly happy that you are always coming to associate yourself with things like this. Nigeria still remains very grateful. Thank you, and God bless all of you. My people, my people.
The Kanu has not done anything that other people from other zones have not done. We know about Sunday Igboho, of the Yoruba nation agitator. We know of the Boko Haram people that say they want a different country where Western education is an abomination. These people have been released. Not just that they have been released. In the case of Boko Haram, they've been re-assimilated to the society, given plum jobs, even in our military. They've been given money and been resuscitated, reconciled, and rehabilitated. Why is Nnamdi Kanu's case different? There is an ethnic and some unnecessary bias that is keeping that man in jail. The government should be wise enough to release this man. You can use the Julian Assange option. If you don't want to say you are losing face, you can release him conditionally. You can release him unconditionally. As a lawyer, I've watched the legal issues very clearly. And I saw that even in the courts, from the High Court to the Supreme Court, there are discordant tones amongst them. Even in the issue of bail, some of the tier of the courts are granted him bail. Even in the issue of the charges, some tier of the court had quashed all the charges. So you can see that the government has a lot of places it can stand to release the young man and bring peace to the southeast. He is now more like a political prisoner. I tell you something, the longer Nnamdi Kanu is in prison, the taller he becomes, and the shorter the government becomes. They should take the intelligent way out of this and release him like they did to other people. Rehabilitate him and reconcile him as they are reconciling Southeast completely to the nation.
And was involved in. Today everybody is free, walking freely on the street. Nnamdi Kanu is still in detention. The Johannes Igbo president, Chief Emmanuel Iwanyan, has called for him to be handed over to him. Sam Bazulike, before he passed on, he also called for the boy to be released to him. A lot of people have spoken during Buhari. But President Buhari, due to ancient hatred, decided to keep him and castrate him. Recently, the 5 governors came together for the first time after a long time to call for Nnamdi Kanu to be released. I don't know what he did that you should still be there when others are out of prison, out of detention. He merely agitated like others. They had to hijack him in Kenya and brought him here. But the truth still remains that ever since he has been in there, he has denounced all the insecurities, activities that were imported into the Southeast just to make that place uncomfortable. And little thing, it will be attacked to his IPOB. When the prison was attacked, they said it was IPOB. We came first to say no, because all the names involved in those activities at that time were not from that part of the country. So what happened? They had to start recruiting locals, Rochas, people without education, without skill. They are now the one doing the operation for them. And then Nnamdi Kanu has said severally in court that look, that he has no hand even in this. On Mondays in the East, there's no activity. So we are calling for the president to release him. But if you don't want to release him, bring him to Ego Square. Let's use him for barbecue. Let his enemies come and eat from it so that we can close this chapter. There is no reason should still be in prison or in detention.
Nnamdi Kanu, that is Boko Haram. It's Nnamdi Kanu, the bandits. You see the kidnappers in the whole of the north. You see herdsmen. So I think our problem has become so, usually theoretical, but now so exaggerated practically that we are losing it out. If you see what is happening in APC, that is a ruling government, a political party usually midwives a government. And if there is so much recklessness in a political party, you can imagine what kind of government they are going to midwife. So we have very, very long and serious way to go in this country. There is an argument. Wanted the case to start, but we put up 2 serious motions, on bail. Because if you read the Supreme Court judgment, I've never seen a country, the Court of Appeal gave him, almost acquitted him, discharged and acquitted him. That every charge against him was null and void. And government went to Supreme Court. And if there were 10 cases the government put up, now they can won 9. The only one that happened that they said they should go back to the High Court, to start the case afresh, which is where we are today. How can we go back to the High Court? When the Supreme Court of Nigeria, and our lawyers told Justice Nyako yesterday, the Supreme Court said there was government recklessness in using a security officer to stampede his company, his father's compound,
with a view to doing whatever, we don't know. And he ran away for his life. And the Supreme Court said he did not jump bail. He was running for his life. If you were the one that lorry loads of military people come into your compound, what are you supposed to do? And it was so explicit, but we started ahead. Nobody knows where we're. I'm telling you honestly, I used to have so much faith and trust in this, so much, but it's dissolving. You know, it's dissolving to the extent that in 1979, most of us were in people's PRP. Any grievance, for any conflict, for any protest, summarize about unresolved grievance. There are problems that people have refused to address or taking those problems for granted. And this comes back to what I say, situational politics. When it is convenient for them, good. If it's not convenient for them, I always. Because when you carry somebody else's dead body, you know, going to bury, you and I will
might as well be a banana stem.
Yeah, it doesn't mean anything. But if it happens to you, you start feeling it.
The president to embark on the path of political solution in the Mazin Nnamdi Kanu case by discontinuing the trial. So you can see by what the president did in the minors case, he has exercised his constitutional power through the Attorney General take under Section 174 thereabout to discontinue any criminal trial, even treason that has a murder charge at any stage of that trial. So now that you have invoked it for this case that we are charged for treason, also invoke that the same Section 174 thereabout in the case of Mazin Nnamdi Kanu by discontinuing the trial. The trial has brought, so it has prolonged the return to the path of peace in the East. It has cost the East so much, has even cost the country so much. There is so of insecurity, there is loss of life, there is killing, there is destruction going on left, right, and center with accusation and counter-accusation surrounding it. What a listening president will do is to say, okay, let's find a political solution, and which is to discontinue the trial of Mazin Nnamdi Kanu, release him on bail, and then embark on the path for finding sustainable solutions to those security challenges. Remember, under Section 14, the primary responsibility of government is the protection of lives and property. So why do we have government? If government cannot protect lives and property, if government cannot listen to the people, if government cannot do things that can bring stability, then it's not government. So what I'm saying in effect is that this is a government, and they should live up to their responsibility by listening to what the people are asking for. When we had challenges in Niger Delta, when the bombing of oil pipeline, kidnapping of oil workers, killing of oil workers, there's a lot of atrocities that was happening there, whether right or wrong. But government, because they know their responsibility, their economic responsibility and their welfare responsibility, embarked on a peace-building effort that led to the resolution of the Niger Delta crisis, that led to the issue of Niger Delta Ministry, different agencies that were put in place, amnesty and so on, Federal High Court, different court, that this trial has no legal basis. At least in these cases, there have been final pronouncement, but you're still fighting and must prove that he's guilty. That means hate. That means you hate the tribe. Because there's judgments of God that have said, release him. The invasion of his house was an attempt to assassinate and kill him. Everybody saw the day the people invaded. There was no cause for that. And the people were beheaded and killed and massacred in tens. And the man ran for his life. And he did not run away or jump there. He invaded somebody's house. Just like the time those murderers from my area.
In the administration of justice, Nnamdi Kanu has remained locked up despite so many court judgments in his favor. The Supreme Court held that everything should go back to the lower trial court. Now, we've been shouting to say there ought to be a political solution to this issue. And the last appearance in court, Justice Binta Nyako actually came up with a solution and said all parties should at least submit themselves to a political solution.
Right, so you're encouraged by that. I discussed with my friends in the administration. The first thing they asked me, you Igbos, what do you want? I want to tell everyone, what do the Igbos want? Fairness and equity, which is in the Constitution. That's all that we want. Treat us as you're treating everybody else. The Igbo ethos is Egbebere, Ugobere. Let the hawk and the eagle perch. Let no one oppress the other. every Igbo person is imbued inside us. So anytime that an Igbo person sees that you're not